What are your normal hours in the cave? Mofford Arts, aka Matt. Hey, Matt. What are your normal hours in the cave? Do you do a lot of overtime now? I do not. I do not do a lot of overtime. My regular hours are, I usually wake up between 7:30 and 8 on any given day. I go get coffee, and then I bring coffee back for my partner, and then I hang out a little bit. Mondays, I tend to hang out longer, and come into the cave around 9:30. Sometimes as late as 10, but usually between 9 and 9:30. And then I'm here until just about 5. It's dreamy. It's really, really nice. I live 2 blocks away. It's a very, very easy and lovely lifestyle. I'm enjoying the spit out of it as we speak. It's a really nice pace. It was not always this way. When I first finished Mythbusters, Mythbusters was full-time for 13 years. Full-time work for 13 years. There was no off season. And so time in the shop while I was making Mythbusters was super precious. And I got here like 3-4 hours a month on a good month. And I'd build something furiously and then go back to work. Or sometimes I'd come in early, like a half hour before work, and I'd work on something and then buzz into work. And my shop was effectively a scarcity model, right? I had a scarcity mindset about it. I had to fit everything in when I was here, and when I wasn't here, I wanted to be here. And when we wrapped Mythbusters in 2015 and finished touring around with a tour we were doing, I came back to the shop in January of 2016. And at the end of the first week, my wife was like, you know, you're not making the show, but it feels like you're still making the show. You're leaving every morning at like 8 a.m. or earlier, and you're staying at the shop until 6. And I realized I was still in that scarcity mindset. So it's not to say that I don't pull overtime when I want to get something done by a deadline. I certainly have. I think the last one we all busted ass on was, the spacesuits for the G4. Those the last couple of weeks of those were a lot of long hours because there was a lot of stuff to finish. Yeah, that's a great question. Wayne asks, are you good at putting your tools, paints, and construction bits away nice and tidy after a project? Or do you let it pile up until you really need to do a good tidy up? The answer to that question is yes. Both. I do both. The table behind me would show you that stuff gets piled up. This is the table that gets cleared almost no matter what. But it's based on energy. I try and clean up for future me. Present me tries to be a good partner to future me. I do not always succeed. Frankly, if I hit a huge snag around 4 p.m., I'm likely just to turn off the lights and go home. That's definitely something that I'll do. And then I'll come in the next morning and sort of take care of everything. But please don't picture me as some paragon of cleanliness. I mostly sweep up the floor and clean up everything off the floor. And that feels like 75% to clean. And then I clear this workbench. That feels like 80%. About every 6 months, I see the top of that workbench. And about every 3 months, I clear all the stuff off the table saw table and throw it up into the shelves. It's far from a perfect system. I am desirous here of expanding my shop space so that I have a little more room to work because it's gotten kind of crazy. David Martin says, has Mrs. Don't Try This ever raised an eyebrow about anything you've purchased, either money-wise or just in general weirdness? Oh, she's raised plenty of eyebrows about the weirdness of stuff I've purchased. Absolutely. Completely. Money-wise, I am profligate in my spending on tools, but on things, I am not the kind of guy who there's a certain kind of guy who they start making $100,000 a year, they go buy a $50,000, $80,000 car. That's not the kind of spender I have ever been. I have always spent within my means on that stuff. So it's never really come up as a significant issue on that front. With all the content coming from Marvel, Star Wars, DC, etc., what cosplay are you most excited to create in 2023? You know, it's still The Mandalorian. I still haven't finished. I have the whole Mandalorian costume back over there in 3 or 4 bins. And it just needs me to start putting it all together. And I will. I will. But it hasn't happened this year. So 2023, I'm going to finish my Mando suit. I'm going to go to a con. I'm going to swagger around. It's going to be awesome. That's what I love about the Beskar armor is it's got maybe the best swagger of any armor I have ever seen. And like, I've seen people put on the like $40 Mando suits with the like, you know, the silver vinyl armor, and they still swagger great, right? Like that costume works no matter at what quality level you are executing it at. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.